This week on Overqualified and Unmuted, the habits that made us indispensable are quietly sabotaging our careers. Cass and Sonia weigh in on a return to office scenario pulled straight from the wild, and unpack why you don't need to be the smartest person in the room to lead well. You're listening to Overqualified and Unmuted.
So, Overqualified and Unmuted, episode 1. I'm Sonia.
And I'm Cass.
We're going to be talking about a few things today.
We sure are. The Great Unlearning.
The Great Unlearning. How the habits that have got you where you are can hold you back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why you were successful, right? Like, there's a reason how you got where you got. But sometimes you get far enough in your career or in your journey where you don't have to do that anymore.
It's not even a don't have to do that. I think it goes to what we were talking about in episode 0, where there is a veil between being an individual contributor and being a people manager. And nobody talks about it or what it entails. And I think the habits that get you far as an individual contributor can very much hold you back as a people manager.
And I'd go further than that and say, like, actual detrimental to your job. And
and those around you.
Yeah. And people managing is a calling. And if you are not somebody who is called to mentor and to be a leader of people, don't do it. Find another way to stay in the job that you want or get trained.
The problem
because you need training to do it successfully.
The problem with that, though, is we are conditioned to climb that ladder. And we are also told that we can't climb that ladder unless we start leading or managing people.
Yeah.
There's a ceiling there for individual contributors.
I want to talk about that. I think that as managers, and I'm saying this from where we are now, not from an individual contributor standpoint.
Okay.
I think that as a people manager, it is your job to have these conversations with your people so that you are continually working on not only where your team and your company and all those goals, but also the goals of your people. Because I had a team where I knew, is this what you want to do for the next couple of years? Or are you wanting to be on a different, maybe you want to do different work. Maybe you want to do this job, but another team. Maybe you want to do my job, whatever that looks like. How do I get you there?
I think a big component of that is self-awareness. And if you're dealing with a team that is not self-aware, you're going to have problems.
We're actually going to be talking about that and the different assessments.
Yes.
Our favorite assessments to use, as well as what our findings were. So we've taken a bunch of these strength tests and DISC, and we're going to be doing all those and bringing those together to see what it looks like. We are just two people. That is not all we're going to do is bring you, if you're looking to find out what this test does, this is what it is. There are tests out there that are still seemingly problematic. We should probably talk about that as well. That come out of a time when.
Well, yeah. But this is in a different podcast. Let's talk about this.
I don't like Myers-Briggs. There, I said it.
Well, before we go to the current podcast, all of these tests pigeonhole people. All of these tests are very general, and
it's horoscopes. They are so general, they will make everyone upset and happy at the same time.
Yes, but I think they do have a purpose. But we can go into.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
And where and when to use them.
Yeah. See, this is why we have a whole series. We have so much to talk about.
We do, and using those as leaders, as well, being on both sides of using those tests, and the benefit and the harm that can be.
Yeah. But before we get into all of that, Christmas,
set up these nips.
Holiday season. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, you can have the nipples. These are baubles to me.
Bulbils.
Baubles.
Bulbils.
Christmas.
Yes.
Holiday season.
Yes.
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
Yeah, all the
Yep.
things.
Solstice.
Tell me something you really love about the holiday season.
So I used to hate the family get-togethers. I would have panic attacks before going to any shindig at my husband's family. My husband's family is very low key. I will say my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law completely eradicated nervousness for any kind of holiday get together. So that was a big deal for me. The moment that I could go over to a relative's house without having chest pains was a really, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Without having chest pains was a really big deal. And so anything that I can head over to my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's house because it's just so relaxing. There's always a puzzle by the fire. So I'm probably looking forward to like the downtime at their house the most. That's what we love to do.
We were talking about the habits that got us here
Mm-hmm.
and how they could hold you back once you get to a certain point.
Those habits are so good
They can be.
because they like, well, I'll say this, they're highlighted when you are an individual contributor that can go above and beyond and can be highly skilled and the one who always is becoming the go-to person.
Strong opinions. Now, this is a tough one because there
Mhm.
is the double whammy of being a female and having strong opinions.
Oh, she's such a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've come across that.
Being the bitch or calling someone a bitch? Because I don't see you calling people bitches.
No.
Yeah.
No, I've
That's
been
my job.
accused of digging my heels in, not even by having an opinion, just by asking a clarifying question.
Well, you can't win.
No, you really can't. So, strong opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Strong opinions, being decisive will definitely get you far as an individual contributor.
Mm-hmm.
I think, in a way, it can get you far as a leader as well, being decisive at least. Having strong opinions, though, it can lead to closed mindedness, and that will get you into trouble in the way that I explained before,
Mm-hmm.
where you need to bring in other opinions. You're surrounding yourself with an expert team for a reason.
You spent the budget to hire these people. Let them cook.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
And I think being a good leader means knowing that you don't know everything. You don't
have
the-
to.
Yeah.
Imagine the pitch that I have now, where I no longer have to be the expert in everything. How cool is that? Finally, for the first time, it's actually not all on me.
But I think going from individual contributor to manager,
Mhm.
that is extremely difficult because
Oh, it's a hell of a transition, isn't it?
yeah, you're being praised for being the expert.
Mhm.
You're being praised for being the SME. That is how you've gotten far. And now all of a sudden you're managing people
Mhm.
and they're the SMEs. What are you meant to do?
As somebody who has absolutely struggled with this, I had to be really firm with myself. It's not my business. I had to literally. I have been on a team with people who know more than I will ever forget about a subject. And I feel like whatever they're doing, it's not my business because it's getting done. And I say it in that voice because that's how I'm sounding to myself in my head. My need for control is not going to be sated by looking over the shoulder of somebody else, ever.
Right.
That's how I had to learn. And again, it goes back to self awareness.
I think having a strong opinion, being decisive about things,
Mhm.
it is still needed as a leader, but it's from a like 10,000-foot view.
And
So
it's like that plus your gut, plus knowing that you can trust the people around you. It's never just decisiveness alone. If you're making those decisions with a closed mindset of only, that bias that you have coming in, like I only like one product, or I know an account manager at this company, so I really want to like this product, even if it's not the best for your organization. If you're not taking into all of the data behind that decision, it can be a really bad quick decision.
Oh gosh, I see that all the time
Mhm.
where a leader will come in and they've come in from another company and something's worked adequately well. They're
Mhm.
like, I'm going to bring in this product.
Yeah.
I'm going to install it at this new company without even talking to your stakeholders or your business
Absolutely.
partners.
You fools.
Yeah.
I know how to do this, talking down their nose at everybody.
AI is a really good example of that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
AI.
Everything's AI and nothing's
So
at the same time.
yeah, this is so true. I don't have a problem with AI. I think it can be extremely productive. We've been using it since the 60s. I have a problem with people selling magic beans and leaders buying those magic beans and expecting the company to magically transform.
Or using it in certain way. Like it's the same reason why we often don't purchase any kind of tool that isn't in their second edition or more. We are in, as you said, data modeling with the idea of AI has been around. I mean, how do you think we get the weather? If you're going to say, oh my God, I'm going to completely automate this process and people won't be needed, that's what the dream that you're selling is. That's fiction.
Yeah.
You're always going to need humans to oversee something.
So, first of all, there's traditional AI, which has been around forever. We're talking natural language processing, things like that. And then there's Gen AI,
Mhm.
which is like ChatGPT, where it's taking
The
in
new model.
data, yeah, and it's generating something new, something completely unique. And then you have agentic AI,
Mhm.
which is where we're using AI to make decisions.
Mhm.
So it's taking it one level ahead. Um, it isn't a magical thing. So it takes work and it is underpinned at every stage by data. And your data has to be clean, your data has to be labeled, you have to have a strong framework. AI is not going to work if, say, for example, you're using 4 different calculations to measure the same metric.
And keeping them all in different tables, not at all like with no library. I can't.
So
The very idea of this is actually like
there has to be a certain amount of data literacy involved and
Absolutely.
training. I mean, ChatGPT, for example, I read somewhere that 70% of the answers created by ChatGPT involve Reddit. It takes data.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Now, you have to understand that goes back to data literacy, but it also has to do with media literacy.
yeah.
That's something that we don't get a lot of over here.
And ChatGPT doesn't take into account any kind of ethics. It was asked at one point if cannibalism was a good thing.
Do you want me to ask AI today? I'll do that. I'll do it as a
Somebody did
takeaway.
though, and ChatGPT said, "Oh, that's an excellent source of protein." Like,
Okay, this is a real thing. Anybody that knows about me, I'm a Girl Scout troop leader, and I co-lead a troop of 14-year-olds, and I was explaining AI that you cannot trust AI when you're out in the wild. Um, for example, if you want to eat something or touch a plant, taking picture of it with like an app and seeing what it is, I did that. I did that with foxglove, which is I garden. So if you know what foxglove is, beautiful plant, all these bell flowers, beautiful, bright pink, gorgeous. It's also called digitalis. It
it'll
will
kill
stop
you.
your heart.
Yep.
And AI was like, this is an edible plant. It's this, and this. Whatever we're doing with AI, we need to see it as another tool for our methodology and our overarching promise of a product. It can't be, oh, well, what's your plan for this? AI. You're not going to go far.
That's where I was going with this.
Yes.
That's where I was
Mhm.
going with this. I was talking about
I
strong
got you.
opinions and
I
being
got you.
close-minded.
Yes.
So, yeah, say CEO, a vendor
Mhm.
comes to the CEO and says, "Hey, I've got these magic AI beans
Mhm.
I can sell you. They're going to change your world." And that CEO just buys them, doesn't talk to the
Oh,
CIO, doesn't talk to the CDO, doesn't even have a CDO.
Chief
Uh,
Data Officer.
yeah, sorry. They just buy the tool. And then it's on the company to implement and be successful. And it's on the roadmap. And
Now,
it's
hold on. I'm sure nobody has ever experienced anything like that, where all of a sudden your leader has pivoted
Never.
in a way that you were not prepared for.
Never.
And now everybody else is left to pick up the pieces.
We're just going to move to this tool. This CEO doesn't take into account the thoughts that the other executive team members have. That's a really good example of how a strong opinion can get you into trouble. You need to lean on the experts around you.
And that is like an emperor's new clothes situation, right?
Oh,
Where
absolutely.
yeah.
I've actually said that. AI is the emperor's new clothes tech edition.
You are going to find out real quick who's actually naked, because I've seen it. I've seen people present AI as their own, and it's like very clearly not. I've used it. Every performance review I've ever written for myself in the last 5 years has been AI. Absolutely.
If you use Google, you're using AI.
It's never just the same way that it's never agile, the same way that it's never waterfall. That is a tool we use. That is right, like QA. It's a tool we use. It's not right. Like there has to be dedicated ways and policies and procedure around how we use that. A desk level procedure on how we use that and how we apply it.
Oh, there was a study done by Gartner. I can't remember the exact statistics, but it said that companies that successfully adopt AI are going to be 20% more productive in the future. And my thought was, that is not because of AI. That is because they've structured the company to position themselves to successfully adopt something.
It should be nimble.
It's got nothing to do with AI as a product.
Growth mindset.
And again, that goes to good leadership skills. You're rallying your team. You're not just using your own opinions as one mindset.
Right.
You're taking in the input of everybody around you, and you're playing to their strengths as well.
That's the goal.
So, self-reliance.
Self-reliance becomes hyper-independence when you've been let down.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it goes back again to the being able to let go of things and being able to use your team, utilize your team to their best advantage. I think self-reliance is kind of a self-explanatory one, really.
I think so. Just because everybody has been left out in the cold or worked on a group project that was absolutely abysmal, right? So you want to make sure that you don't run into that. But there's all sorts of things of you not wanting to bother your people. Your people are also too busy. So when you're given a project, you want to take it on. You want to prove yourself. There's all sorts of reasons why people are self-reliant. It's not always hyper-independence, but it goes in that direction really quick. Do you have any stories on that?
Relentless drive.
Like a motor.
Yeah, let's burn you out and burn out everyone around you. So yeah, starting when you're trying to climb that ladder, when you're youthful and can thrive on 3 hours of sleep, having relentless drive is not a terrible thing. Now, no, I need my naps.
I look at relentless drive as an undiagnosed mental health condition. I'm always going to wonder what's going on at home.
Interesting.
What's wrong? What are you hiding from? What are you avoiding? Why are you so obsessed with this? I look at self-drive as like something's up. And it doesn't matter what phase of your career you're in. I look at that as an instant red flag for me.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. If I see a manager or if I see anybody that's online at 6 a.m. and they're still online at 6 p.m., what the fuck are you doing?
Is that relentless drive though, or is that just being chronically online?
I would say, but they're busy, like they're doing things. If that's really the case, that's a 1.5 person's job. Like if you are actually that busy,
Yeah.
something's wrong, right? If I now see someone who is constantly asking for more work. They're constantly wondering if they're going to be in the 14th meeting of the day, if they're wondering how they can this. Whoa, what's going on?
But I would say we've shown relentless drive in getting this podcast out.
And I have mental health issues. Like I said.
Me too.
So, like,
Fair enough.
I'm just saying the point stands.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe this is a perspective thing.
And this is how not self-aware I was. I was absolutely someone who was driven and judging every other person around me. What's wrong with them? Geez, I can't take a break. Meanwhile, I'm on, the 18th cup of coffee and it's, 8 p.m. and I'm still in the office.
Oh, I never looked at anyone around me. My drive was like, this is so exciting. I want to do it. I want to get it done.
And that is very different work than what I've been doing.
So I'm thinking of an internship I did. I was on the team that developed the world's first digital pregnancy test. And I was testing the electrode creation part of it. So I was screen printing ink on absorbent paper. And there were issues there. And it was one of the things that I had to figure out as a master's student. And there was something to do with the printing ink. And I had a hunch that it was like one of the hottest summers in the UK. And there's no air conditioning. We don't do that over there. So I had a hunch that if I started printing super early before the sun came up, the viscosity of the ink would be different. This feels like elementary school stuff, but this was part of my master's. So I asked if I could have special permission to enter the lab without supervision at a certain time of day so that I could screen print these electrodes. And I think they said yes, because nobody else wanted to be up at 5 a.m.
Sure.
But that was the drive. I had to see if I was right. I had to see if this would work. That kind of drive I still have when it comes to certain projects.
Yeah, and I think that probably, do you think that has to do with the idea that you are doing work that was mentally and emotionally fulfilling?
Yeah, it was.
Because I've never felt that way about a job that wasn't extremely fulfilling. We need to have a conversation about that kind of relentless drive.
That's how you get your name on a book.
That's how you get your name in the Darwin Awards. Like
that too.
Right?
One of two ways.
Yeah, there are two types of people.
All right, that was the last one.
That was the last one.
Yeah, it was. So, how can you prevent relentless drive becoming burnout?
We keep saying it, and you have to be really self-aware. We're going to be providing you with tools on how to get self-aware if you aren't already, both in terms of how you are as a learner, as an employee, as a manager, all of that. But also making a safe space so that you can be that person.
I think the problem there is if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably self-aware. You probably have an inkling of self-awareness. I think it's the people who aren't interested in improving themselves.
It's the people that you're instantly imagining when we're talking about these things. So either you can passive aggressively forward the podcast on, or you can outright forward the podcast on, but you are probably going to need to put up a buffer for yourself on how those people can stop negatively impacting you.
So if this podcast was forwarded to you, hi, welcome. You need us.
Right. We've been wanting to talk to you for a while. We didn't know how to say. I always wanted to know everything in advance so that I can plan for the contingencies.
Yep.
And I think what I had to learn was the contingencies were a waste of my time and energy, and to rely on my previous knowledge that I've met every obstacle head on before.
So again, as a leader,
Mhm.
you have this 10,000-foot view
Mhm.
and you're seeing everything and you're
Mhm.
setting strategies. It's a balancing
It
act.
is. Everything is.
Yeah, it is.
We'll help you get there if you are interested in that, right? Like, you can still feel passion. You can still feel so much excitement. That was my biggest thing, right? If I'm not worried about perfection and if I'm not worried about self reliance and I'm not worried about this, well, what else? What am I going to do all day? There's plenty. If you're into fidgets and stuff, comment below because we need more people to be really okay with someone doing something with their hands while talking.
Oh, the best workshop people have fidget toys.
Yes.
Yes. Something to play with as you're listening. Because
And like
you can't
every
just
hour,
listen.
you have to take a 10-minute break.
Yes.
Another one that I learned.
Get up, move your legs. Yep,
And
absolutely.
I don't type to take notes anymore.
That never worked for me.
Never. It has
I
to be handwritten.
Yeah,
And that's a brain thing. That's not an age thing. I want you to know that. That is a brain thing. Your brain is processing information orally, but you also need to write it down for your action remember. And then review the notes within 6 hours in order for it to really get locked down. I say that as somebody with photographic memory.
do you want to listen to an AITA story that I found on Reddit?
You guys, I think everybody's the asshole. Somebody in every story is the asshole. I'm eager to see if it's the person who took to Reddit.
Okay. This is a return to office AITA. I knew it would spark some kind of a response.
Oh,
So it was on Reddit r/AITAH. Am I the astronaut for refusing to give my coworker their office back now that work from home has been cancelled?
okay, can I repeat what I think I just heard?
Sure.
I'm making up context, so bear with me. They all left the office to work from home. One person is now back in the office using somebody's office who wasn't in office. And now they're wondering if they need to give their office back because everybody's coming back into the office.
So back in 2023, a woman, we'll call her Jen, in my building left for maternity leave. After having her child, Jen took advantage of the company's work from home program, which left her office open. I put in a request for that space with my manager, and it was given the go, so I got to leave my crappy cubicle for my very own private office. My employer has announced that work from home will end in 2025. All employees are to be back in the office by that date. Yeah, it sucks. I know. Yesterday, work from home employees came in for tours and desk assignments. When Jen saw that I was in her office, she became agitated and asked if I'd be leaving so she could take back over. I told her flatly, no, I have no intent to give up that office. Jen spoke with the manager about this, and the management's immediate decision was that I was under no obligation to move out of the office. I was approached and asked if I had any interest in returning to a cubicle, and I said no. There was no follow up from my manager or HR, as they both see the matter as closed. Now, a day later, I'm getting the stink eye from coworkers who think I'm punishing Jen for something outside of her control. Jen has also emailed me asking me to consider the position she's in and that she's already being punished by the company by being compelled to return to the building and asking me
It's
to
not.
consider her feelings. Sincerely, I definitely understand how much this sucks for her and everyone else being forced to come back.
Mhm.
But I like having my own office. I have a lot of stuff in here that I'd otherwise have to carry back and forth. I'd be giving up the privacy that I've become adjusted to. And if I'm honest, I actually enjoy having a nice window to look out of and none of the noise of the cubicles. AITA on this one.
Ooh. Well, your manager needs to sack up.
Yeah.
Should we maybe get a manager who could get a declarative fucking sentence out, maybe?
Well, it sounds like the manager was like, this is how it is.
Well, yeah, but it sounds like the manager didn't talk to the woman who had an office. And why is it? And if that's the case, why isn't the manager giving up her office for Jen?
I have questions. I'm wondering what level Jen is compared to
Oh,
the coworker.
it sounded like they were peers.
If they're peers, what I would do is, as a manager, open up that office as like a phone office to take calls in and put everyone on the floor.
Oh, I guess why this is going to make me sound like an asshole now. Am I the asshole? As if that's your case, I want to know, is the manager in an office? I want to know what job everyone is doing. Are they on calls all day long? Where they need privacy, right? Or is it literally just like, oh no, I'm an analyst and I'm heads down all day.
Sounds like we need a policy.
It sounds like certain, like we had it where you had to be, I think it was a VP to get your own office. I've been in places where I had my own office working because I worked with people talking about their private health data and their private financial data. So I've had my own office for that. But going from a cubicle, it sets a really poor precedent to do that ever. When you go from a cubicle to an office, and everybody else thinks that they can do it too.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the office space for that, all of this could have been stopped with someone looking at it
Yeah.
from a, larger perspective. It's
Like,
a shitty situation.
how did that other person get the office in the first place?
And what's your FMLA policy where Jen's office is going to be gone when she's coming back from maternity leave?
Well,
imagine that. Because at that point, that's what should have been said. If you're going to give up this office right now, you're giving it up. That didn't sound like it was super clear. It sounded almost like Jen said, that's still my office. You've just been using it. See, this is why you get different perceptions.
Different perspectives, yeah. But as I said,
and why would you then go back to that person and give them the stink eye? That's not on them.
No.
Go to a manager. Go
Yeah.
to HR. You need to advocate for yourself, Jen, in a way that doesn't make you a bully.
I would say the manager kind of sucks here in asking.
And HR.
Yeah. No, HR was like, case closed.
But it can't be case closed if people are still questioning about it. My job as somebody, I need to make everybody unhappy. If everybody is unhappy, everybody goes away blaming me and they can blame me together.
Yeah. I would say the return to office presented a clean slate to that company.
Ooh.
Where they could have set a policy saying,
Absolutely.
If there are, say, 3 manager level people and 2 officers, nobody gets an office. They're bookable for calls. That's how I would have done it.
And the question, and I like that answer.
So there is an edit. So someone, a few people really brought up that I hadn't considered was the question of if I vacated the office, would that necessarily mean Jen could have it back? And on Monday, my manager approached me about returning to a cubicle to verify my lack of interest. But this morning, I checked with HR on the policy. And sure enough, you cannot simply choose to give your office to someone, as office assignments are selected by policy. So the office would go into a pool if I vacated, which means Jen would be competing with everybody else. Several of the work from home people who have returned are more senior than her, and at least one of them is definitely interested in the next bidding that comes up. So Jen would be out of luck. I'm surprised that they didn't do full reassignments then, and she still has the office.
I'm telling you, it's a shitty manager.
Yeah, this is really odd. HR is going to circulate a reminder on office bidding policies. So they have a policy, they're enforcing it.
I hate anything that has to do with bidding. I hate raffles. I hate auctions. I hate assignments like this. I hate it.
I agree that when it comes to assignments, yeah, there should not be a bidding war.
No, it should be assigned. This person's job has been determined that it has to take place in an office because of X, Y, and Z. Done. Then that way they're not fighting with each other about it. There's no bad blood. Blame it on a higher authority, and then those 2 people can have a common enemy.
I also brought up the email with my manager who stated she will reply to it and CC Jen's manager to ensure that there is an understanding that this matter is closed.
That is not the same thing.
This is a messy situation.
Yeah,
I think
this is. Can we ask this person where they work and send like our business card across the table slowly and just be like, you'll meet us.
I don't know if they can do that, but yeah, that is not a good policy.
Because they were working from home.
Yeah, they were working from home. and this person was going into the office. So they put in a bid for it. They won that bid. Now everybody's in the office, and they need to rethink that policy.
Yeah. Yeah. Ew. No.
Yeah.
That's not for me. That's not a place where I would work. So long.
It's interesting how these things are determined. It's fascinating how every company does it slightly differently.
Well,
what do you think? Let us know.
I would love to know if you guys have read that Am I the Asshole? And it's a really good one because I went on an emotional journey while here. I did. I was all about it, and then I was like, nope. And now I'm really angry at management. And at the end of the day, I think any work scenario that ends with, and I'm upset with management, is a good one. Because that means it's changeable.
Love management.
Okay. This is the Overqualified and Unmuted podcast. I'm Cass, and this is Sonia.
Hello.
And you can listen to us every Friday. Full podcasts drop every other week with other content scattered in between on every social media platform and beyond. Overqualified and Unmuted.com. Feel free to listen to us everywhere you get your podcasts. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.